Thanks, my Siri, y'all. You can catch me at the Dare for Monist. Shout out to the Monist gang. Okay, cool. So today we're going to talk about the language of the universe, which is synchronicity. We're going to go through the research data behind it in order to understand it more. And then we're going to see why it's important for you to know about synchronicity and how it can get you towards your goal. So Carl Jung, one of the greatest psychologists to ever live, defines synchronicity as an occurrence of meaningful acausal coincidences. These coincidences have a sense of serendipity around them. So here's a story that happened to me that'll help me better explain what synchronicity is. About 3 years ago, my elder brother pitched a business idea to me that he wanted us to do as siblings, and he wanted me to be a part of it. At the time, the venture needed a lot of energy and effort that I did not have at that specific point in time. So that conversation just ended up being a conversation and it left in the air. 3 years passed, right? And around Christmas time of 2021, my intuition brings that conversation back to my awareness in great, vivid, colorful detail. And I had a positive emotion while replaying that conversation in my head. I wondered what my intuition was trying to tell me, and I let it go. About 4 days later, my boss invited me to his home for dinner. And it just so happened around that time his relatives from another city had come over to stay at my boss's place during the festive season. At some point during the night, I was left alone with my boss's cousin. Intuitively, something in me said I should pitch the business idea to him that my brother told me about 3 years ago, which was a shock to me because it's something I never ever do. I do not tell anyone outside of my mastermind group an idea until the vision is complete for energetic reasons. But somehow in this case I felt compelled and had a gut feeling that I should tell him my idea, and so I obeyed it. And I shared my idea with him. As synchronicity would have it, as I'm telling him my idea, he shares to me that his position in the organization he works for are the gatekeepers of the industry of the business idea I was sharing with him in the whole entire province. So if I was to carry out my brother's business idea in that specific province, my application would end up on his desk for him to accept or for him to decline. What a coincidence. So we spoke and he gave me his number in the event I needed any advice. The synchronicity in the way these events played out is pretty crazy. Of how my intuition reminded me of that idea 4 days before and informed me to share that idea. How my boss invited me on that particular day, on that particular night, and how my boss's relatives decided to spend Christmas with them in that fashion, which was not a common practice. These are positive, meaningful coincidences, termed synchronicity. See, Greg Levoy said, "When you're on the right path, the universe winks and nods from time to time to let you know." Carl Jung popularized the term synchronicity in his psychological writings as he noticed synchronicity in his life and the thousands of patients he helped. He believed that synchronicity mirrors psychological processes inside an individual, and those synchronicities provide guidance. He saw it as a way the unconscious mind communicates and guides us towards a specific aim. This was found on the belief called the Unus Mundus, meaning one world. The Uno Mundus is the belief that the five sense world and the spirit metaphysics world share the same reality and come from the exact same source. And because the inner world and the outer world are made out of the same source, synchronicity can be created just by setting a goal within the inner world and then watching it manifest within the outer world. Synchronicity is not exclusively a psychological or physical phenomenon, but involves psyche and matter. It's called a psychoid phenomenon. If you have been following this channel, you would pick up that this is the law of correspondence. The psychoid idea is literally a large part of being a monist. In my experience, synchronicity occurs when you have a clear-cut goal, dream, or an idea, and the energy you vibrate aligns with that idea. So when you move through life and witness synchronicity, I acknowledge it. I give thanks to the divine for always working on my behalf for good. After that, I thank in advance for the goal being complete that the synchronicity is leading up to. You know, Abraham and Esther Hicks once said, When you look back on synchronicities, you realize that the timing was always perfect. And you can use that logic of synchronicity in the present to look into the future and realize that the timing is perfect. Quantum physics in the last century has proven that physical events are determined by metaphysical factors such as consciousness. The inner world determines what happens in the outer world. And I did a video explaining how quantum physics explains the law of attraction, and I'll leave it in the description. Sky Nelson Isaacs recently published work around quantum physics theory and synchronicity. And you learn that synchronicity's usefulness is in navigating you from blockages as it puts you into flow. James, my Siri, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this video. It'll mean so much if you to like and sub. If you want to support the channel, we do have an NFT collection. I'll leave it in the description. We also do have a donation link if you're not into NFTs, but you're unable to monetarily support the channel. A like and a sub will do a long way. James Masiri, thank you.